Hello my friend, in this video I'm going to show you what Spotify's Discovered On playlists are, why they can be so powerful for independent artists like you and I, and most importantly how you can get your music on these playlists today. Discovered On is a section that you can find on any Spotify artist profile, and what this is going to show you is a collection of the top playlists that are getting the most streams for that artist and are the main ways that that artist is being discovered on Spotify, particularly in the last 28 days. So it can really be a main driver of that artist's monthly listener count. So let's hop over onto Spotify and I can show you a little bit more about this. So what you're going to want to do is get onto Spotify and navigate over to a artist that you'd like to look at. Right now we're going to look at me. There's my beautiful face right there. So the way that you find this section, the Discovered On section, is you just scroll almost all the way down to the bottom. Just above the About section, you'll see an area called Discovered On. So this is the Discovered On section for my music. So you can see here I'm on a playlist called Late Night, the Spotify editorial playlist called Outliers, the official H&M Music Store one of my own playlists, and another Spotify editorial playlist. So these are some of the playlists that are driving a lot of my streams and is helping me get the monthly listener count that I have at right now, which is 51,000 monthly listeners. But you can also click the See All button here, and you can find even more. So I think there's a total of something like 47, and you can see these are all of the main playlists that my music is currently being discovered on Spotify. So this section can really be super powerful for independent artists because you can use this as a tool to find out what playlists are driving the most streams for a particular artist and driving up their monthly listener count if that's something you're striving to get to. On top of this, I've done a little bit of digging, and we're actually going to dive into my Spotify for Artists dashboard as well to kind of compare this. But my understanding is that not only are these playlists that are driving a lot of streams, these tend to have a higher Spotify popularity index, which means that any songs that get added to these playlists are also going to get some kind of positive impact in the eyes of the Spotify algorithm, which makes trying to get your music on these playlists even more valuable. So let's jump into my Spotify Artists dashboard and kind of compare the stats that we have there to the playlists that are on the Discovered On section. So from my Spotify Artist dashboard, we're going to move over to the Music tab, and from there we're going to move over to the Playlist tab, and we're going to leave this as the last 28 days because my understanding is that that Discovered On section is mostly being updated on a 28-day cycle. So we can see here that algorithmic streams at the moment is kind of, I would say, is probably going to be the majority of my streams. So radio, I have about 34,000, Discover Weekly 15, and then under 2,000 and 1,000 for the rest of them. Editorial, Outliers drove 766 streams and Fresh Finds Dance did 351. And then over on the listener side, there was 19,000 from this Late Night playlist, 4,000 from my own playlist, 1,000 from the H&M playlist, and so on and so forth. So what's kind of interesting that I'm noticing here is that when you compare the playlists that are on the Discovered section, which were, if we head back, is Late Night, Outliers, H&M Music, my own playlist, Fresh Finds Dance. If you compare these stream counts, 19,000, 4,000, 1,000, etc., to, and even this editorial one, 766, to the algorithmic playlists, it's clear that the algorithmic playlists are actually a lot more powerful. So what's interesting about this is that it shows that the playlists in the Discovered On section maybe aren't the best playlists on Spotify, but they are the best editorial and listener playlists, user-made playlists that you can find on Spotify. I think algorithmic streams are always going to be a bit more powerful and important, but if you're doing something like playlist pitching or something like that, and you're trying to get on specific playlists, then using Discovered On as a tool to identify which playlists you want to get on can really maximize your time and effort into your playlist outreach promotional strategy. And really, I think there's three main takeaways here. One is you can use Discovered On as a way to find more high quality playlists for your playlist pitching strategy. These are definitely playlists that are going to be worth your time since they're actually getting streams and driving up the stream counts for a bunch of artists already out there. Two is if you have limited time and energy, then you can simply use this as a tool to find the most bang for your buck, most valuable playlists out there, and only spend your time trying to get on these playlists. And third, I think this is something kind of interesting that I kind of like the most about this, is that as you can see here, not all editorial playlists are made equally. So if you head over to a Spotify profile and on that Appears On section, you'll see all of the editorial playlists that an artist has added to. However, not all of these playlists are as valuable as the other. So you can actually use the Discovered On tool as a way to see which editorial playlists are driving the most streams for a particular artist. And you can use this as almost like a research kind of tool. So when you're doing your own playlist pitch, you could find other artists that are similar to you and artists that are on editorial playlists that you'd like to get on, and you can use that as a way to see which editorials are driving the most streams for those artists and find the music on those editorial playlists and use that as some information for you to include when you're making your own playlist pitch to try to get on those. You can kind of cater your pitch to get on those particular playlists. And lastly, before closing out this video, I want to give you 3 simple steps that you can do today to actually start getting your music in these discovered on playlists. So step 1 would be to simply brainstorm a list of artists that are similar to you or artists that you're kind of aspirational trying to get towards. So that way you can start going on Spotify and digging into the discovered on playlist for those specific artists and really make sure that the search that you're doing is relevant and very specific to your musical style. Second, I would then either go manually through that discovered on section and start listening to each playlist and trying to find the contact information for that particular playlist, or you can use something like Playlist Supply, which will automatically grab that for you. And they actually have a new tool called Organic Search, which can automate this process for you. If you want to learn a little bit more about that, there'll be a link in the description to an article that I did reviewing this new tool. And what's kind of cool about it is that's actually how I was able to find the Spotify popularity index for the different playlists that I'm on. So check that out if you're interested and want to automate and speed up the process. And then third, all you're going to need to do is then, once you have that contact information for those specific playlists, just start doing your classic playlist outreach, sending an email, trying to be helpful, trying to get your music in front of them and in a polite and nice way so that they will consider putting your music on that playlist. So if playlist outreach and pitching your music to playlist curators and playlisters to promote your music on Spotify is the main thing that you're doing to promote your music, or is just one of the main things that you're doing, I would definitely recommend focusing on these discovered on playlists, since you're going to get the most bang for your buck. And it can also be a really nice research tool as well. So I actually don't personally do any playlist outreach. If I did, I would want to focus my time and energy on only these playlists. What I prefer to do is copy and paste my music promotion, make it a little bit more set and forget. And if you want to learn a little bit more how I do that, I have a free 7-step checklist that goes over the exact 7 steps that I do before each release so that everything's scheduled to run and I can kind of just relax and chill out on release day instead of worrying about 250 things that I need to do and always worrying that I haven't done quite enough. So if you want to check that out, there will also be in the link in the description below. And that really is the best way that I can help you achieve your goals on music, by giving you access to the 7-step release checklist, which also includes some free courses as well in there as well. So definitely check that out. And if you found this video useful, like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Otherwise, good luck on your next release, and I will see you in the next video, my friend. Have a good one.